Hello, and I'm here to do a review of my 2016 Moto Guzzi Eldorado. I've owned it since about 2019, had it for 3 years, and there's a great story behind it. But before we get to that, let's go over the motorcycle. So Moto Guzzi, many of you have not heard of Moto Guzzi. They are a European motorcycle manufacturer that have been in business for 101 years. They are the oldest motorcycle production, continuous production in Europe as well. And they've been in the US market for off and on for most of those 100 years. We'll start at the front. We have a beautiful looking motorcycle. These are both 16-inch wheels, and the fronts are 130 90s. The rears are 180 65s. White walls, as you can see. They are smooth riding tire for touring mostly, a little bit of the twisty stuff. The engine. The engine is a transverse mounted V-twin 90 degree. It is 1390 displacement, about 100 horsepower and 88 pound-feet of torque. It's a very distinctive looking engine and very recognizable on the road. Now, talking about the throttle, this is a fly-by-wire system, so there's no physical connection between the throttle and the engine. You have cruise control. You also have 3 riding modes. You have the first one is called Turismo, and that one is your general touring mode. You have Veloce, which is your power mode, which is going to give you more instant power, and you have Piaggio, I think I said that right, and that is your rain mode, so reduced power and to give you better traction. ABS, you have 3 modes for ABS in terms of how aggressive it is, 1, 2, and 3. And you have heated grips, and other features include an alarm system with a security code. This bike, when new, costs about $18,000. You can pick them up now for, I would say, anywhere between $6,000 and $10,000. They were discontinued in 2019. This particular bike is a 2016. I bought it with about 3,000 miles on it. It has about 6,000 miles on currently. First, I'm going to show you this key, which you'd think would unlock this compartment here. A lot of motorcycles have storage here. When you undo this, put the key in, it is the unlocker for the seat, which has very little or no storage in it. So that was interesting. Next thing I'll do is I'll start the bike up and show you how that torque works. So I'll start the bike up. I'll do a walk around the bike. I'm going to show you. This is the instrument cluster. We have a tachometer surrounding the center display unit. with speed, fuel, gear, and multifunction readout at the bottom showing time, distance, mileage, and trip meter. We have LED running lights and a projection. Turn that on. Next up is something I do every time I ride my motorcycle, even if I just rode it yesterday or I haven't ridden in 6 months. He's behind me is a small cul-de-sac, and I do about 10 minutes of warm-up, practicing low speed turns, stopping, figure eights, just to get the feel again for the bike, get the rhythm, and make sure that I'm comfortable. And I will say this one time I went out and I just wasn't feeling good on the bike. I wasn't feeling confident. And I decided, you know, I'm not going to ride today. So I'll just give you a quick little demo of a little bit of what I do before I go on each ride. The basics here are working with the clutch, the throttle, and the brake all together, along with proper body position and where your head and eyes are focusing to help you navigate turns with confidence at low speed. It takes practice, and the more you do it, the more confident you become. I'd like to give a good shout out to Jerry Palladino, aka Motorman Ride Like a Pro. I found his YouTube channel and was both inspired and encouraged to continue riding and improving my skills, and as a result have gained better confidence when riding, and I am enjoying riding much more. So I will put a link to his channel below, but thanks again, Jerry. A quick note on apparel and what I wear when I'm out riding. The jacket is by Viking, the pants are by Fly Racing, and the gloves are by Indy Ridge. Time for my final thoughts. First, how this motorcycle found me. I've owned one other bike in my life. It was a 1999 Kawasaki Drifter. Brand new, got it just after I got my motorcycle endorsement. Wonderful bike. However, in 2019, it began to show its age, missing some modern conveniences and safety items. I was contemplating selling my bike and not riding for a while, and I happened to stop at a local used and consignment motorcycle shop. And amidst the 50 bikes was this Moto Guzzi in the back corner. Over the next few days, I could not get this bike out of my mind, and after a brief test drive and negotiation, decided this would be a worthy successor to the Drifter. Now, one thing I wanted to mention also was earlier in the video I talked about torque revving. When I was on the bike, gave it some gas and it leaned and it pulled to the side. It is not noticeable at speed at all, as the engine smooths out very nicely and you don't even notice it. At low speeds it is noticeable, but you quickly get very used to it, how the bike will lean into a corner. It's kind of a neat quirk to the bike. Now to talk about positive things I like about this bike. All-day comfort. The seating position is great, the seat is great, the arm position is wonderful, the conveniences of cruise control make it really comfortable to ride all day long. It will go over about 200 miles on a tank of gas. I usually don't go more than 120 before filling up, and also gives you a chance to stretch your legs. The gearing is super smooth. if you get it in the right rev position. It's got a heel toe shifter, and I usually change up at about 45 RPM. The bike will rev all the way up to 7,000 RPM. It's a heavy bike, but the brakes make it feel like a much lighter bike than it is. The ABS is also super helpful when stopping on rough pavement. It really helps smooth out your stop. And lastly, this bike draws attention no matter where I go. Whether I'm at the gas station or pulling into a restaurant, I generally end up having a conversation with someone about this bike, and that's pretty cool. Things that I don't like or wish this bike had. First is an adjustable windshield. I do have one. I was off during the filming of this video. The wind buffeting on my helmet is pretty strong with the windshield on. Lack of adjustability would have fixed this issue. I know most bikes with fixed windshields are like this. Second, on-bike storage would be great. Even a small compartment would be nice. I have a bag that I use, but it'd be great if there's a lockable storage. Finally, I'm sure speakers and Bluetooth and all those modern conveniences would be nice, and I thought I would mention but they're not really important to me, as I'd rather focus on the ride and the noises around me. With that, I want to say thanks for watching. Ride safe out there and watch out for bikes of all kinds.